Okay, let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this first live event of our Smart Schooling and Networking MOOC, empowering small and rural schools across Europe. My name is Anna Lagina, I'm the course coordinator, and this afternoon, together with my dear colleague Ariana Blasic, who is also the course moderator, we are hosting this live event for you. Hi, Ariana, and welcome. Okay, this is a welcome webinar, so it is an informal gathering, let's say so. It is framed within Module 1 of our Mass Schooling and Networking MOOC. As you know, the course has just started, and of course, not all enrolled participants have had the time yet to start the course. Anyway, these live sessions will be recorded, and the video will be made available on the course platform in a couple of days. So even those teachers who were unable to participate this afternoon will have a chance to see the webinar later on. First of all, we would like to thank all those who have already completed Module 1, quite many, I should say, for the depth and the value of their contributions. We are really impressed by your comments, your contributions on the course Padlets, on the Triciders, and on the forum. And personally, I think that just browsing through your comments is already per se a rich learning experience. Please continue to do so and spread the word among your colleagues and schools, because there is still time to join the course. So this welcome webinar this afternoon will offer you an opportunity to meet the course team, so who is behind this course, and what to expect during the course. Before getting started, let's break the ice. I will ask my dear colleague Ariana to please help me with the chat. And we are asking you to please write in the chat where you are from, where you are based, where you are joining us and from, and what type of school you teach. Do you teach in? Okay, so let's use the chat and see what are the answers. Let's take a look. Ariana, help me, please.
Yes, so for now, I can see that there are colleagues joining from Croatia. Can you hear me, Anna?
Oh, yes, very well,
Yes,
thank
yes,
you.
okay. Yes, so Croatia, Albania, we have primary school, we have secondary school, we also have colleagues from Slovenia, then Italy, Serbia, there are both primary and secondary schools here. We have North Macedonia. We have also quite a lot of other colleagues from Italy and Croatia and Serbia. So for now, mostly these countries in the lead.
Yeah.
That's what I can see.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on the chat anyway. Oh, there's also someone from the United States. Excellent. You're very welcome, from Greece as well. So please, we invite you to use the chat to not only ask questions, but also share with us your comments, your impressions, and so on. Okay, so let's just delve into the course and explain a bit how it all started, the objectives, and what we are also dreaming of, the follow-ups, opportunities that can derive from this course. So first of all, why a MOOC? This is a direct initiative of European SchoolNet Special Interest Group for small and rural schools across Europe. And it originates from the report, from the research that was carried out by European SchoolNet Interest Group and Indire, about the condition of small and rural schools across Europe. So to disseminate the results of this research, to highlight also the specificity, the distinctive characteristics of these schools, and also to highlight the potential that lies in their specificity in terms of innovation. All right, so the research was conducted along 4 main areas: leadership and school organization, multi-age pedagogy, educational technologies, and schools as civic centers. However, this MOOC is open to all kinds of educators, policymakers, teacher trainers, educators per se, and across Europe, and we have also participants from outside Europe. So you are all more than welcome to participate. What are the key goals? So exchange and discuss good practices, first of all, share, reflect on successful strategies supporting small and rural schools, including system innovation, multi-age pedagogical approaches, expanding school learning spaces, and improving collaboration with families, schools, and community partners. Secondly, co-construct a vision for inclusive high-quality education. So on this, we have here, and I greet them, welcome on this live event, the three researchers that have been also members of the scientific board that has been supporting this MOOC. So Stefania Keeper, Jose Mangione, and Giusy Canella, please, will later take the floor and explain more about this vision for inclusive high-quality education. We will all contribute to that. And the idea is to share a vision to enhance teaching and learning in small and rural schools across Europe. And finally, our hope, our aspiration is to build a lasting education community, to foster a network of educators from small and rural schools across Europe that could survive, that could live on even after the duration of this course. The course has been designed to answer the following key questions. Okay, let me just enlarge this. Okay, so how can schools answer this challenge, find solutions, innovative solutions to the particular difficulties they have? Let me go on, okay? So how can teachers, school leaders, and other school stakeholders contribute to enhance the quality of the educational curriculum provided in small and rural schools? Secondly, what innovative pedagogical approaches can be implemented in multi-grade classes, and what strategies can help develop rich learning environments that extend beyond traditional school spaces? And finally, can small isolated schools play the role of community centers in their territory? So these were the key questions that were sent to us instructional designers before designing this MOOC. And we have tried to find solutions to provide some suggestions through 4 engaging modules. So module 1, which has just started last Monday, developing a vision for small and rural schools. Module 2, smart schooling models and innovative pedagogy in multi-age classrooms, will start next Monday. Module 3, expanding school learning spaces, and Module 4, building strategic alliances and civic impact. I'm just going very briefly through the contents that are presented in each module. So this is the module that is currently open, developing a vision for small and rural schools. And this module will reflect on the specific needs for that characterize schools located in geographically isolated or marginalized areas. We discuss the values that should be at the foundation of their school vision. We explore ways and solutions that small isolated schools can implement to improve their efficiency in terms of organization and of the teaching and working team and the management of school buildings. And we exchange ideas about innovative forms of continuous professional development for in-service teachers that can help small and rural schools overcome isolation from the wider educational community. So again, I take the opportunity to thank all that have already completed the module and contributed to the forum, to the Padlets, the Triciders, etc. Ariana will say more about that because we are really impressed by the quality, the depth, the insights, the contributions that you have given, and that make this course really a live learning event. So next Monday, we will open Module 2, Smart Schooling Models and Innovative Pedagogy in Multi-Age Classrooms. We will explore innovative strategies for the management of multi-grade classes, and this was an issue raised by many of the teachers that have already contributed to our discussions. So we will discuss types of pedagogical approaches that can be implemented in multi-age classrooms, including assessment, And we will share practical advice, guidelines, and suggestions from experts and peers about the use of digital content and educational technology for teaching and learning. In Module 3, we will then delve in strategies to expand school learning spaces beyond the classroom walls. So this module will provide an overview of innovative ways and solutions that can help schools create a rich learning environment by expanding school learning spaces both physically and virtually. We will explore innovative approaches to outdoor learning and experiential learning. And here again, many teachers have highlighted how important it is to take advantage of the qualities of the special characteristics of small and rural schools. We'll discuss and exchange ideas about the challenges and opportunities of remote teaching and distance learning, so online learning. We will share ideas about activities and projects that can facilitate the integration of small and rural schools with the city. This is also another issue that was raised by the teachers, by the participants. So when children grow up, they will move to the bigger towns or cities, and how to facilitate this integration, and or other European countries, so through exchanges and mobility programs. Finally, Module 4, we will explore strategies to build strategic alliances and civic impact. We will explore ways and solutions to optimize the role of parents and families in the educational planning and the progress of small and rural schools. We will discuss forms of collaboration with local authorities and third sector to expand the curriculum and provide educational opportunities for students. We will then suggest networking strategies to improve collaboration with other schools, enhance professionalism, and participate in collaborative projects for school innovation. And here again, we will try to take advantage of the live community of teachers here, offering also a space, Arianna will say more about that on the forum, to match, to find a partner, maybe another school or another teacher with whom to develop maybe a project, an ET twinning project, an Erasmus, or other forms of collaboration. And finally, we will share ideas about the potential role of schools as civic centers and the type of initiatives that can be provided to support their local communities. Okay, so the program, as you can see, is pretty rich and diversified. It is true that it is really very wide, but we are trying to provide possible solutions to a wide range of schools, because under the definition of a small and rural schools, this title doesn't say much. I mean, there are peculiarities, there are characteristics that are really individual. So at the end of the 4 modules, you will be invited to complete a final learning activity that is your proposal for school improvement. Nothing to worry about. You can start constructing, creating your proposal module by module, and we have provided also guided instructions at the end of each module on how to start working on this project. Okay. So we will have also, apart from this welcome webinar, 2 more live events. One is next week, next Thursday at 5 p.m., an expert talk. And we have invited 3 expert teachers to share with us about innovative pedagogical approaches to multi-age classroom and how to tackle challenges related to classroom management and assessment. So the idea is, first of all, to hear from them how they have dealt with such challenges, but also to give you an opportunity to exchange and ask questions in order to foster the discussion. And at the end of Module 4, on Wednesday, the 22nd of October, we will have another live event, an expert talk with 3 other expert teachers that will share with us about their experiences with networking. So how they have managed together with their schools to expand environments beyond the traditional classroom, using strategies such as outdoor education, service learning, and international projects. So we think we have put quite a lot of food for thought. What do you think, Ariana? I think,
I Yes,
yeah,
I absolutely agree with you. So there is really, really a lot of very, very interesting resources and materials for diverse participants in our course. And Anna, as you mentioned, this course is not only about learning, but it is also about sharing and networking. And that's why we invite you to participate in all these forums and padlets and three-siders that we have in the forum, because we want to build a community, not only because we are part of this MOOC, but also because we believe that this is an excellent opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. Because teaching is actually a very solitary profession. We all work behind a closed door, but this course can be a great opportunity for all of us to open the door to our classrooms and see how you implement certain strategies. What are your innovative projects that you do in your classrooms? So please feel free. Do not hesitate to share your experience because this is really, really invaluable. You can do this. You can share it in our Facebook group if you want, but also in the discussion forums. And as Anna has mentioned, there is also the opportunity that you find a study buddy or a partner who you can study during the course, or you can develop some projects, mobilities, any ideas that you might have about collaboration, because this is really how we grow, how we progress. And you can find all the topics under the tab discussions. So you can see if there are topics that you have already responded to, or there are some new ones. So, and whenever you have a question, do not hesitate. Write the question down. We invite other participants to answer, to respond to your question, or you can share your experiences, and we will also, of course, answer your questions. Then on the next slide, you will see that we also have some Padlets, quite a lot of Padlet, but also quite a lot of your posts already. So thank you so much for being so active and sharing your ideas and experiences and knowledge on Padlet board, and also on three-siders that we have here. So keep on doing it. We are really looking forward to learning from you and together with you in this course. And also on the next slide, we invite you to participate in the final survey that we
yes,
will open at the end of the course. But Anna, do you want to
yeah.
say more about it?
Yes, thank you, Ariana. Thank you also for the brilliant job that you have done so far, and I'm sure it will further develop over the three more modules. Thank you so much. Indeed, at the end of the course, this is not a mandatory task for you, but anyway, you are warmly invited to participate in the final survey of that will lead to the creation of a vision for inclusive and high quality education in small and rural schools, a sort of a model for small and rural schools across Europe that could be implemented to improve educational quality and bring about education innovation in schools. But about that, we give the floor to the three researchers, the Indira researchers, that have been leaders in the study mentioned many times, playing the part research. So please welcome Giuseppina Canella, senior researcher at Indire, with a focus on overcoming geographical isolation through innovative methodologies and distance learning tools. Giuseppina Rita Jose Mangione, also a senior researcher at Indire, where she coordinates research on school system innovation, and she coordinates the Italian network of small and rural schools, Piccole Scuole. And last but not least, let's welcome also Stefania Kipa, Senior Researcher at Indire, with a focus on rural schooling and the development of networks and alliances between schools and their local territories. Welcome, Giuseppina, Jose and Stefania. At the end of your presentation, we will also post some questions that we have put together based on the contributions, the suggestions by our participants. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you for the introduction. So the starting point is Jose, which will introduce us to the audience, the topic, and then me and Stefania in his final reminder about the survey. So Jose, the shelf is yours.
Thanks. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Giusy. And you know that the smaller rural schools are very different from standard urban schools, and they are usually small size, often with multi-age classes and sometimes spread across dispersed sites. But this school has, at the same time, they have a strong local identity and can become laboratories of innovation because they experiment with innovative pedagogies, outdoor community-based learning, and they use ICT to overcome distance and isolation. To imagine the future of small and rural schools, we need to work on 4 key dimensions. The first is leadership and management. Leadership is crucial because small schools often face complex situations, multiple sites scattered across villages, very few staff, and limited resources. A clear school vision helps to give direction and coherence in these schools. The second is system innovation and alliances, because smaller rural schools cannot stand alone. Their survival and development depend on alliances with families, with the other schools, and with local authorities. The third is pedagogical practices, because teaching is as a multi-age classes is not the same as the teaching in standard classrooms. It's require creativity in organized space and time. And finally, ICT as an inclusive tool. In this isolated context, digital technologies are not just an add-on, but remote teaching and distance learning make it possible to overcome geographical barriers and ensure inclusion and quality. And the comparative research about across different countries in collaboration with the UNA, we support some key recurring aspects through innovation and the development of these schools. First, strong community engagement. Rural schools are often at the heart of their territories. The alliance, parents are involved through association, municipalities, supporting school in your life. Second, the diversity of innovation practices, for example, outdoor education and environmental projects that lead to recognition as the school as eco schools. A different management of multi-age classroom, for example, in France, for example, the teacher swapping model, or in Malta, with the complementary teachers provide support for pupils at different levels. And finally, ICT is used to reduce isolation. For example, in Malta, peripatetic teachers travel between schools and use ICT to coordinate their teaching. These findings show that small school as the innovative school, but they are the laboratories of innovation and community cohesion. And Giusy, we pass to you the control.
Okay. So we can skip the slide about 24. No, what on earth, 25? Just a second. Okay. It's okay, Anna. Do you see the
challenges?
Yeah,
it's about challenges.
Okay. Yes, my just some bullet point to remind us what are the challenges that the small and rural school have to face. Because in our research activity that has been described in detail in the monographies from each country and in a research report that you can download freely from European School Net website, we identified that the lack of resource for the quality of curriculum that in many cases has been overcome by or thanks to the participation of the community in terms of multi-agency approach to project, or the collaboration among experts that stay in classroom or work together with teachers in improving and enlarging the curriculum. Or, for example, another aspect that is a challenge for the school, small and rural school, is the shortage of trained teacher. And then in a second moment, we will answer to some question that deals with teacher training. But in this case, just to highlight some point, I can say that this aspect could be overcome with the collecting experience from other colleagues, or using case study or toolkits, or in a distance cooperation. Other challenges are the inadequate infrastructure that could be overcome with participation, with the collaboration with private partnership. And finally, what is our next focus is networking to cope with the phenomenon of closure, because it's something that happened not only in Italy, where we are based, but also all over Europe. And networking could be the next, how can I say, the next step for a European network of small and rural schools that help each other in those aspects that are really challenging. But to do this investigation and this kind of activity, we need your support in answering the survey that we will launch in the final module. And I will pass the shelf to Stefania that she will describe the survey in much detail.
Hello, and yeah, I moved to here to I asked the hospitality to Giusy in her office, because we were experiencing some troubles with the audio, and this is the very last part of our presentation, and let me guide you through this very important tool that we have developed together with European Schoolnet. This is a survey, but it's very important because through this survey we can co-create together a vision for inclusive and high quality education in small and rural school. And you can find it at the end of module 4. And but this is the first. Why do we need this specific to build together a specific vision for rural school? Because the answer lies in demographic trends. As you can see here in the chart from OECD, many European countries, but not only in Europe, you can see all over the world, are experiencing a steady decline in the number of students enrolled in school, and projections for until 2031 suggest that most countries will face a significant drop in all the age from 0 to 4, but also for upper in the other grades of school. And this decreasing of population is particularly can be particularly a problem in rural areas because they are now face sharper declines, and this can lead to risk of school closure, mergers, and also resource gap. And so what are the implications of these demographic and professional trends? And the first thing, we need to rethink the school infrastructure. And so instead of planning for expansion, we have to concentrate on quality. The focus must shift toward inclusion, innovation, with smaller groups of students. The second and very important thing is the recruitment and retention of teachers in rural areas. This must become an urgent priority. And third, we must invest in multi-grade teaching models which are a defining feature of small schools and can be also a pedagogical research when they can be faced with creativity. And finally, also the digital tools and the use of networks, for example, as European school networks and other networks at European level, but also at country level, can help to overcome the distance, but also to ensure equity and inclusion. You can, it's our message here is that this is not it's not a simple, simply a questionnaire, a survey, but it's a linguistic and value-based map. So it's a tool that we can allow you to co-create and construct together with us and design the future of the smaller rural schools in Europe. So it's a kind of collective tool. At the heart of the vision, there are 4 pillars, as you have heard before, and through these we can collect and share good practices. We can give voice to teacher and principal, so they can be recognized not just as implementers, but co-designers of change. And also we can build a shared vision for innovation, which means engaging local communities, policymakers, and educators in the same conversation. And fourth, but it's very important, you can be a contributors of this European vision which led to also very practical European guidelines to foster innovation in rural school and to support smaller rural school in their process. So this is the very last slide. So we would like to thank you and for your attention. Leaving reflection on those 2 quotes from Mandela and Albert Einstein that to us can better represent the power of what teachers do every day in this context. So yeah, everyone matters, and teachers in those schools knows it very well. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Stefania, Jose, and Giusy, for your presentations. We now open the floor for questions and comments. So Ariana, please help me. Let's invite the participants to add in the chat the questions, but also their comments. But before starting, I see that my dear colleague, Christos Bouzolis, who is he is part of the team and he's behind supporting the European School Net Interest Group, has managed to join. He promised me, but he's a very, very, very busy, so could not be sure whether he was there. Christos, are you there? Can you just say hello?
Hello to everybody. Thank you very much, Anna, and thank you very much, Ariana, and many thanks to the colleagues also from Indire. And congrats first of all, to everybody participating in this MOOC in European SchoolNet. We do believe that isolation doesn't mean disconnection. There are many ways for schools and for teachers to connect with each other, learn from each other, and share practices and knowledge. Many times, things that they seem very simple to us, they are just like an unknown area. So it's always good to expand. It's always good to reach and exchange. This MOOC has been actually the result of this of the work of the interest group of European SchoolNet, and in collaboration with Indire, and we are very, very happy to have you with us. Thank you very much, and have a great MOOC.
Thank you so much, Christios. Also, special present for me that you have managed to join. Thank you so much.
Well, Anna,
okay.
you did all the MOOC, so it's also like a very big congrats to you as well.
Thank you, dear. Okay, let's move on. Ariana, are you ready? Please keep an eye on the chat.
Yes.
And in the meantime, we have also taken a look at, kept an eye on the forum and on the social. So we have put together some questions for our presenters, for our speakers today. Let me just summarize a little bit what has emerged from the forum, from the Padlets, very, very briefly, Stefania, Jose, and Giusy, because the amount of comments and contribution is really amazing. So as regards leadership, participants appreciated learning about distributed leadership and team-based models in small and rural schools, especially how these approaches can turn limited resources into strengths. However, concerns remain about the long-term sustainability of such models, particularly in contexts with low material support, limited parental involvement, and high teacher turnover. There is also a strong interest in how education systems can address the future expectations of families in economically disadvantaged rural areas. So we have tried to summarize a bit here and prepared a question for the speakers. So I think Jose can answer this question, but you can probably share on that. How can education systems support the long-term sustainability of distributed leadership and teacher stability in rural schools, especially when facing limited resources and low community engagement? Let me just say that, of course, there is no ready-made solution for that. We have no magical recipe, but we are just somehow making suggestions, all right?
Yes, Anna, thank you. It's a very important question. The research shows that distributed leadership is often the only possible model to adapt in the smaller rural schools, because principals work with very small staff teams and sometimes across dispersed size. This model can transform limitation into strength, but is a long-term sustainability and requires systemic support. The educational system should provide specific training for school leaders and a specific career, and encourage the creation of quality teams inside schools, so the responsibility is shared and not dependent in one individual. And to address the high turnover, systems need to ensure incentive for teacher stability, and not only financial incentive, but also access to professional development, mentoring, career opportunities that make rural posts more attractive.
Indeed, indeed. It is not easy to answer such a question because it involves system innovation. So there are more than one, more stakeholders, more people involved in the process, of course. I understand, yeah. Okay, let's move to the second part. in the final section of Module 1, participants have explored innovative forms of professional development designed to reduce the isolation often experienced by teachers in small and rural schools. And they have emphasized the value of continuous professional development approaches that promote networking and collaboration with other schools, such as online communities of practice, school mentoring, and regional hubs. So this is a short summary, very short summary, of course. And here is the question for our speakers. I think Juicy maybe can help on that.
Yes, so, thank you, Hannah, for summarizing all the inputs that the forum and the other tools provided us about this topic. Really important, and we see as one of the most important, also necessary. So we need to look at CPD from a different approach, from a different point of view. It's not something that comes from the top. So from the Ministry of Education, from the formal training activity, but we need to build or to that the leadership had a vision about what a school is and about the training of teacher to put in practice what he or she thinks a school should be. And for example, in our research activity, we observed that eTwinning and the Erasmus project are a very important prompt for collaboration, for networking, for inspiration and sharing practices. Also, another practice that is very common within a small and rural school is mentoring from standard school to standard, let's say, teacher that work in standard school that move to or that mentor teachers that stay in small and rural school, and also visiting. So moving from a standard school to a small school or the vice versa. Finally, the interprofessional collaboration, which means the collaboration of the local community, expert association within the school, in the school, to design a quality curriculum, is a sort of training activity on the job for the teacher, because they need to create a team to design a curriculum, a quality curriculum. So this is an experience that we observed as really valuable for teacher. And that's it. That's a very short framework of what we observed in our activity of research and investigation.
Indeed. And also MOOCs like this can contribute to creating a community of teachers and educators passionate about bringing about innovation and exchanging experiences, because indeed teachers must discover the real value of collaborating, with other teachers. This is really an asset. And when this is discovered, then change can happen, I believe. All right. Next area, teaching practices in small and rural schools. Of course, next week in Module 2, we will delve into this area, but many participants have already emphasized how teaching practices in small and rural schools should reflect their unique identity and context through approaches like project-based learning, outdoor learning, community-linked learning, and some participants have highlighted the need to balance innovation with limited resources, ensure meaningful learning experiences, and address challenges such as high teacher turnover. There was also interest in how families and local organizations can play a role in school governance and support. So we have put together this question for you: how can small and rural schools systematically integrate context-relevant teaching practices while ensuring teacher stability and meaningful involvement of families and local communities? This opens an ocean of possible solutions, but let's hear from you.
Yes, thank you, Anna, and thank you all the participants for this question. It's very important. From our perspective, our research, our point of view, deeply also rooted in the experiences of the Italian schools, we can see that small and rural schools have the advantage of being deeply rooted in their local identity, and this can be turned into a strength, into a plus. So what they need, this is the first suggestion that we can give, is to put all these activities, so outdoor learning, project-based learning, community-linked learning, such as, for example, service learning, to put them into the curriculum so that they can not be they can be structured approach and not occasion, just occasion. The second point, very important, is the teacher stability. This requires support and incentives, and the role of the networks are very important to answer, to tackle with this challenge, because, for example, if a teacher is part, if a school is part of a network of other smaller rural school, it can feel less isolated and more motivated to stay. And also those networks, for example, European Schoolnet or other networks. In Italy, we have the network of smaller rural school in Italy. They can create occasion for career development also for free. And they can make rural teaching more attractive. So, and the third suggestion that we can give is also invest in quality. So when, for example, a school decides to invest in quality and inclusiveness, it can achieve outcomes that family can see in a very clear way. And so the school can become very attractive for families, and when the school is attractive for students and families, attractive also for teachers, because they are motivated to stay. And the third suggestion that we can give, it's very important to put the family, to involve the family and local organization into the life of school. For example, the engagement of the family cannot be only in formal bodies, but also in practical ways. For example, in community packs, we have in Italy this kind of alliances as called community packs, but also, for example, inviting parents to share their skills,
Yeah, I think Stefania is frozen. Anyway, yes, I think she's frozen. Can you hear me, Stefania?
Yeah, I can hear you very well. So yeah, we are experiencing some problems with the connection, but I don't know if I have to repeat. I was at the end of the answer.
I think your answer
I was
explaining
about the involvement of the families.
Families, yeah.
In doing activities also.
Thank you so much. Very interesting indeed. Just let me tell the participants that in Module 3 and in Module 4, we will delve indeed in teaching practices that include also learning environments outside of the school, and in Module 4, families, other schools, and community partners. Okay, the final question is about families and communities. Let me just summarize briefly as I can. Participants highlighted the important roles of local communities in revitalizing small villages and schools. They also mentioned how immigration and cultural integration can foster coexistence and counter hate narratives. Many participants emphasized the value of collaboration with other schools and third parties. However, concerns remain about how to sustain, again, this word sustainability, how to sustain these practices and build long-term, meaningful partnerships between schools and communities, especially when resources are limited. Here is our question for our speakers. What practical steps can small and rural schools take to build and sustain strong community partnerships, especially in diverse and resource-limited contexts?
So, Anna, this also is some really recent research that we are conducting, starting from what Stefania said to us, shared with us. So the school in the future will change feature. It's not only a school for pupil, for students and teachers, but will be a civil building, let's say, a learning hub. And in order to do this, to provide the right role to the different stakeholders, we need to sit together and think about what services, apart from schooling, a building could provide. This means that families need a role. The local authorities and the local, stakeholders need to participate in the design of the curriculum and also in providing financing, let's say, in financing activities. So this is the reason why I mentioned interprofessional collaboration. In this case, the school will be also extended. Student will not use just the building, the classroom anymore, but every context could be a learning environment. The outdoor spaces, the museum or the cultural civil spaces, if they are provided, equipped with a series of aspects. So our, let's say, wish is that small and rural school could be laboratory of innovation in this direction, according also to the big picture that Stefania provided us about the demography, the decline in demography. So we as a researcher, but also all those people that live and experience small and rural school or inner areas, living in inner area, has this responsibility to be part of the wider community and to design the school for the future.
Indeed, very interesting. Thank you so much, Stefania, Jose, and Giusy, for answering these 4 questions that were somehow a bit of a result from very, very short, very concise. I apologize for that. Dear Ariana, are there any questions from the chat? I see that the participants have been quite active.
Yes.
We still have some minutes, so if Stefania, Jose, and Giusy are available, let's see if there are also comments. Doesn't have to be necessarily a question. Ariana?
So right now we have quite a lot thank you messages, and what a wonderful and very useful and insightful presentation this has been. But also we have a question about whether it is possible to involve colleagues from their school in the MOOC, I suppose. Obviously they have colleagues who are good collaborators. So is it possible that they are also involved or that they enroll in this MOOC? And I think, of course, by all means, they are all welcome to join, and we are very, very happy to have you all here. The more of you there are, the better examples and more examples of good practice we will have in the course. What do you think, Anne?
Yes, absolutely. And please invite your colleagues. Sometimes we have already received some messages, what a shame the course is in English. Invite your colleagues to participate and form a study group at school level. We have also provided some information, some practical information on how to set up a study group in your school along our MOOCs. So you can also work together on preparing the final learning activity. So we have tried to make these learning activities as flexible and more open and collaborative as possible in order to encourage the participants to finish the course and take this opportunity. So no worries at all.
And no worries about English, about language should not be a barrier. So luckily, we also have some digital technology tools that we can use to translate for translation, help us with understanding in different languages. So feel free to join, even though you think you might think that you don't speak good English, but we are not native speakers either. So the English is only a language to communicate for all of us, and please feel free to join.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Encourage us, invite your fellow teachers, your colleagues, and also people to participate. Let me remind you that we have another live event next week on Thursday, always at 5 o'clock, about innovative teaching practice in multi-age classroom management with 3 expert teachers. Use the Padlet in the course also to ask questions. I'll do the same job as today, although summarizing was not an easy job, I can tell you, because of the level of the quality of the contributions. Again, we are impressed and we thank you all. Anything else?
No, I would like to thank you for all the questions that help us as a researcher to reflect on the topic that each question has inside. And this is the reason why I point out your attention to the survey. I ask, please fill the survey, because it's important to create a network of European small and rural schools for us. We're starting to study what is happening, what is going on in Europe. Thank you, really.
Thank you. So that voices can be higher and higher at the European level.
Absolutely. Also because at the end of the day, it's about democracy. It's about equal opportunities for our youngers, for our students, for the future citizens of Europe. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon, for attending the course. Thank you, Stefania, Giusy, Jose, and also my dear colleague, Ariana. Continue the excellent work done so far, and good luck on the course. See you next week.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.